Azure Policy is a service in Azure that allows you to create, assign, and manage policies. These policies enforce different rules and effects over your resources, ensuring those resources stay compliant with your corporate standards and service level agreements. Azure Policy helps to bring governance to your Azure environment by enabling you to control and audit your resources at scale. This is crucial for maintaining security, compliance, and operational efficiency. Azure Policy is essential for organizations that need to ensure compliance with internal and external regulations. It helps in automating the enforcement of rules, reducing the risk of human error. For example, you can create policies to ensure that all resources are tagged correctly, or that certain types of resources are not deployed in specific regions. This automation not only saves time, but also ensures that your Azure environment remains secure and compliant. Azure Policy consists of several core components: policy definitions, initiatives, assignments, and policy parameters. Policy definitions are the rules you want to enforce. Initiatives are collections of policy definitions that are grouped together to achieve a specific goal. Assignments are the application of policy definitions or initiatives to specific scopes like subscriptions or resource groups. Policy parameters allow you to customize policies for different scenarios. Creating a policy definition involves specifying the conditions under which the policy will be enforced and the actions to take when those conditions are met. For example, you can create a policy that requires all storage accounts to have secure transfer enabled. This involves defining the if condition, if a storage account is created, and the then action, then ensure secure transfer is enabled. This is done using JSON format in the Azure portal or through Azure CLI. Once a policy definition is created, it needs to be assigned to a scope, such as a subscription, resource group, or individual resource. This is known as a policy assignment. During the assignment, you can also specify parameters to customize the policy for that particular scope. For example, you might assign a policy to ensure that all VMs in a resource group have a specific tag, and you can specify the tag value during the assignment. Initiatives allow you to group multiple policy definitions into a single unit, making it easier to manage and assign them. For example, you might have an initiative for security best practices that includes policies for encryption, secure transfer, and network security groups. By assigning the initiative to a scope, you ensure that all the included policies are enforced together, simplifying compliance management. Policy parameters provide flexibility by allowing you to customize policy definitions without modifying the policy itself. For example, a policy requiring tags on resources can have a parameter for the tag name and value. When assigning the policy, you can specify different tag names and values for different scopes. This makes it easier to reuse policies across different environments and scenarios, enhancing their versatility. Azure Policy provides built-in compliance tracking, allowing you to monitor the compliance state of your resources. The Azure portal offers a compliance dashboard where you can see which resources are compliant and which are not. This helps in identifying areas that need attention and taking corrective actions. You can also set up alerts to notify you when resources become non-compliant, ensuring continuous compliance. Azure Policy not only helps in identifying non-compliant resources, but also offers remediation tasks to bring them into compliance. For example, if a policy requires that all VMs have a specific tag and some VMs are missing it, a remediation task can automatically add the required tag to those VMs. This automation reduces the manual effort required to maintain compliance and ensures that your environment adheres to the defined policies. There might be scenarios where certain resources need to be exempt from specific policies. Azure Policy allows you to create exemptions, specifying the scope and duration for which the exemption is valid. For example, during a migration project, you might exempt certain resources from compliance checks temporarily. This flexibility ensures that you can maintain governance without hindering critical operations. To effectively implement Azure Policy, follow best practices such as starting with built-in policies, using initiatives for grouped policies, and leveraging policy parameters for customization. Regularly review and update your policies to adapt to changing requirements. Also, involve stakeholders from different teams to ensure that the policies align with organizational goals and compliance requirements. This collaborative approach ensures comprehensive governance. Consider a financial services company that needs to comply with strict regulatory requirements. By implementing Azure Policy, they can enforce encryption on all storage accounts, ensure that VMs are only deployed in approved regions, and mandate tagging for cost management. This not only helps in meeting regulatory requirements, but also enhances security and operational efficiency. The company can monitor compliance through the Azure portal and take corrective actions as needed. Azure Policy offers advanced features such as policy aliases, custom policy definitions, and integration with Azure Blueprints. Policy aliases allow you to reference specific resource properties in your policy definitions. Custom policy definitions enable you to create policies tailored to your unique requirements. Integration with Azure Blueprints allows you to package policies with other governance artifacts, providing a comprehensive governance solution. Integrating Azure Policy with your DevOps processes ensures that compliance is maintained throughout the development lifecycle. By incorporating policy checks into your CI/CD pipelines, you can prevent non-compliant resources from being deployed. This proactive approach helps in catching compliance issues early, reducing the risk of security vulnerabilities and operational inefficiencies. Tools like Azure DevOps and GitHub Actions can be used for this integration. The future of Azure Policy looks promising, with continuous enhancements and new features being added. Microsoft is investing in making Azure Policy more intuitive and powerful, with better integration capabilities and advanced compliance tracking. As organizations increasingly adopt cloud technologies, the role of Azure Policy in ensuring governance and compliance will become even more critical. Staying updated with the latest developments will help you leverage Azure Policy to its full potential. Implementing and managing Azure Policy is crucial for maintaining governance, security, and compliance in your Azure environment. By understanding its core components, creating and assigning policies, and leveraging advanced features, you can ensure that your resources adhere to organizational standards. The next steps involve hands-on practice with creating policies, monitoring compliance, and integrating Azure Policy with your DevOps processes. Continuous learning and adaptation will help you stay ahead in managing Azure governance effectively.